Welcome to Chat Tsunami. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Chat Tsunami. I'm Satsunami and joining me today for a very special streamer spotlight is a very awesome streamer. You might have seen her around playing Final Fantasy Online. It is the one and only Noobtoons. Noobtoons, welcome to Chat Tsunami.
Oh, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
No problem at all. How you doing?
Not bad. It's Friday, so even better. I'm doing okay.
Absolutely. Thank God it's Friday. It's always a good day to record and stream as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
As I was saying there, you're of course... Well, is it right to say you're a variety streamer?
I mean, not really. I tend to play the same games over and over again. It's a bit of a problem. I mean, it's just because I like the game. I do have other games that I could possibly be playing, but I really enjoy Final Fantasy 14, and I've just sort of played that a lot on stream.
Would you say that's your favourite out of the group of games that you play? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's MMO. There's a huge community, and the fact that I get to play with other people is why I really like it so much.
How long have you been playing it for?
Actually started, I would say March. Yeah, March last year. So I think about 11 months now. It's March in a few weeks, so yeah.
Has it been out for long, or is it quite a fairly new game?
I think it's been out for 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
The online
Final
one,
Fantasy.
yeah.
Yes.
I must have missed the train on that. Because I have to admit, I remember there was a time on Twitch where it seemed as if everyone was playing it, and I wasn't, because I'm exposing my colours here, but I didn't realise that Final Fantasy had an online game, because I haven't really played much of the games. When I saw everyone playing it, I thought, that must be a new game. And it's well, whoops.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to play when there's a new expansion release.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so there's a flood of people who've taken huge breaks, just come back to play the expansion, and they just stop playing again altogether.
Has there been any good expansions recently, or is it?
Yeah, Endwalker dropped in November. Was it November or December? I think it was December, just after Christmas, because it was delayed a bit. It's an amazing expansion. It's really good.
It's one of the games I really need to check out. I'll say that. I'll put it on the backlog. I'm terrible for that. Do you have a backlog as well for games?
I do. I mean, Lost Ark came out a couple of weeks ago. I downloaded it on release day, and I still haven't gone to it. And Elden Ring is really looking good to me as well. So I do need to get on top of that at some point.
Oh, that came out yesterday, didn't it?
Yep, yesterday.
Well, at the time of recording, I just want to put it out there, because people will be like, oh, it's been out for ages. Yeah. I did hear the build-up for that was pretty intense, and it seems as if everyone's been enjoying it just now. Lots of streamers getting into it as well. It's that way you see a game that's really popular and you think, yeah, I don't need this in my life. Add to the backlog. So is Final Fantasy the game that actually got you into streaming?
No, the reason why I got into streaming was I was playing on another MMO, Neverwinter, and I had a group of friends that I played with, but then they weren't playing as often as I wanted, and it was just right at the start of lockdown as well. So I thought, how would I get more people? So I started streaming even without a camera. I would see people come into chat trying to talk to me, and they wanted to play with me as well. And I thought, okay, this is a good way to get more people, and I think that was just how I got really into it, because there were more people willing to play with me while I streamed the game. Yeah.
What made you choose Twitch though, rather than something like YouTube, for instance?
I've had my Twitch account since 2014. I didn't use it for anything.
Ah, right.
So when you get a new PC, you have the Nvidia. Nvidia is built in.
Yeah.
You can broadcast into YouTube, Twitch, or whatever. So I think I did all of the above. Twitch was just the only one that that seemed like it retained the video and I could understand a bit more than YouTube. I didn't think YouTube streaming was a big thing at the time. Maybe that was just me though. But yeah, Twitch was more understandable. So I just kept on broadcasting the game directly to Twitch, and yeah, that was just how it started.
I think you're right, because it must have been only Twitch and I want to say Mixer, but I mean, obviously, as of this episode especially, I think it's been gone for a good while now.
Yeah.
The reason I asked is because a lot of people that, when I'm talking to them, they'll say, oh, it was because of the lockdown and things like that. But yeah, it sounds like you've had it for a while though. If it's 2014, did you say?
Yeah, the Twitch account. Yeah, I just didn't use it.
And out of curiosity, and apologies because you must get this question a lot in your streams and things, but what is like the origin behind your username?
Oh my gosh, nothing whatsoever. I think I was probably watching Looney Tunes at the time. I was just like, all right, let's just use Noobtoons. And then I feel like the game has been a huge barrier for my growth as well. But I like it. You know, I feel like there's just a negative connotation around the name, Noob. Obviously, like there's some games where I can't even use the name to create an account, where it's just like it's like a blurred or obfuscated or whatever it's called altogether. But yeah, I just thought it was a fun name, and I just stuck with it. I think I changed it like about 2 years ago now, so not that long ago, because I had a different name altogether on Twitch before.
I was going to ask, I take it you don't do the like N00B.
No, no, no. I was lucky. The name would have. I don't know. The name was just. It was just available. It was like first try, and it just worked.
Oh, I love when that happens. See, when you put in a username that you want, and it's the first time, you're like, yes, yes. Seeing as like you've been on Twitch for a while and you've had the account, how has your experience been with Twitch?
Because when I started playing, I actually played a bunch of games to begin with. This was before I even found Final Fantasy 14, and then I fell in love with it, and I've just been playing that since. So I played Dota 2, I played Neverwinter. Neverwinter viewers were very nice, you know, they were regular viewers. They wanted to play the game, they wanted to play endgame content, and that was it. But then came Dota 2. I started playing, I think, in February last year, so about a year now. I got a lot of hate in the category. I think that almost turned me away from streaming altogether. I was called names. I got hate rated a bunch of times, even before hate rate became a thing. People were getting into my Discord and just like calling me names, saying they would do like weird things to me. That almost turned me away from streaming. But you know, people were like, you know, this is what they want. They don't want you to be here. So you just like shying away and not doing it all together. They've just won. So I looked at it from that aspect, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stick at it. Increase like a moderation on the channel, on the Discord. Added more bots for security purposes. I think that was just like the only bad thing, because I was fairly new and I put it on Twitter. Nobody knew who I was. I didn't have a following at the time, so it was kind of like I was talking into like thin air, because there was nobody listening. But now, a year later, if I put something like that on Twitter, I think it would definitely, you know, get some barking, and people would jump on top of it and, you know, try to help me out. But yeah.
No, sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, I'm like really glad that you are getting like support in that way from your community, because especially when you're starting out, like I honestly can't imagine how hard it must have been if you were coming into it new and then getting so much negativity in that way. But I am kind of glad though to hear that you have built up like such a supportive community. And I have to admit, although I have lurked a couple of times in your stream, like I have noticed that your community seem very positive with one another, and they seem very supportive when you're going through the games and things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very lucky.
What would you say is one of your more positive experiences with streaming?
Positive experiences. I guess the reason why I started streaming in the first place is to get more people to play with, and now I have countless people to play with, and it makes me feel good. I like games that have like a huge community aspect to it, and also the friends that I've made. I know some pretty amazing people, you know, like activists, people who actually make positive differences in my community, and you know, that to me is a blessing. And you know, I want to be at that point where I'm able to like give back as well to up and coming streamers and in the space. So I think I'm just very lucky in that sense. I think that's one good thing I can say I'm very, very happy about.
I was going to say, it must be such like a good feeling that you can just put out a tweet saying, does anyone want to play, and then you'll get like tons of responses just being like, nice.
yeah, especially on the Discord as well. Yeah, there's tons of people who are always available to play. It's amazing.
That really must be, to be honest. Have you got any like favourite moments from that? Like, have there been any like standout moments that you've had with your community?
I would say like recently with the Endwalker expansion, I didn't play the expansion right away, and then when I played it, like literally I had like over 100, almost 200 people just watching, and they all wanted to play with me, and I thought that was insane. I was just like, whoa.
Did you say over 200? Sorry.
Almost 200, yes.
Oh god.
On the day I did the final original map. That was really shocking to me. Like everybody wanted to play. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the most overwhelming feeling ever. It almost brought me to tears at the end of the stream because I wasn't actively looking at the numbers. When I finished and I saw my average, I was just like, whoa, that is insane.
Whenever I've seen you go live on Twitch, you have so many people. And sorry, when I say this, I don't mean to put pressure on you. Be like, wow, you've got so many people watching you. How do you cope? But genuinely,
I don't turn on the numbers because I don't want to
yeah.
know.
Oh god, I can imagine. But it is amazing though how you've had like, and I mean obviously for good reason because your
Mhm.
streams are awesome. But it is like amazing to see how many people are like tuning in and just giving that support really, and
Thank you.
wanting to play with you because honestly, I think I would faint if I saw that number on mine. I would just be like, how many? Oof, no, turn off those views. No, 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 I don't want to know.
Exactly. Yeah, it
Yeah.
can be overwhelming, especially if you don't get that kind of number all the time. Like I did it and it was just completely random.
I know what you mean. It does seem like a kind of double-edged sword, doesn't it?
Mhm.
It's like on the one hand, it's great you're getting this visibility, but yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up. Like, would you say when you get days like that, it is harder to keep up with like things like the chat?
I
Have you seen any kind of change from when you started streaming to where you are now?
I don't know. I feel like they're more activists on Twitter now, and I like that Twitch is actually listening and making changes based on like what people were like complaining about. Yeah, other than that, I haven't seen much. Yeah, I haven't seen much. Maybe I'm just not paying much attention, but nothing in particular stands out to me right now.
I was actually going to ask because I noticed one of your tweets talking about being one of the faces of, was it Black Brilliance
Right.
month for Twitch?
Yeah, yeah. So currently it's Black History Month in the US. So yeah, I guess that's a different thing. So usually there's one in the UK in October. So the one in February is actually the US Black History Month. So Twitch reached out a couple of weeks ago, like late January. I'm asking if I wanted to take part. They asked over a thousand streamers if they wanted to
Wow.
take part. So basically, the reason why they picked that many was because there's a survey thing in your streaming dashboard or your settings that you can feel, and then I think maybe they query this and they see the bunch of streamers and then they just pick you that way. It's not like it wasn't like a special thing. So yeah, so obviously I identify as black. I am black. So they reached out to like a bunch of us that way and put everybody on the carousel on the front page. So it's not like the main carousel, it's like a shelf at the bottom of the main carousel, like a third shelf or something. So I think everybody expected it to be like a really like obvious change or difference for the month, but not a lot happened with that, unfortunately. We didn't like, I guess we're expecting like more views, like more people in the streams, but that didn't happen because the shelf was just like really low. Barely anyone saw it because you would have to scroll like a couple of times to actually see that shelf. That was very criticized on Twitter as well, by people who took part and people who didn't take part because yeah, it wasn't what people expected it to be. They thought it could have been better. I think there was also the thing where it's a US based holiday or month, but then they extended to the UK folks as well. So there's a lot of like confusion around that. Like, why did they do that? Because last year there was a Black History Month UK. That was the first one that ever happened. So people were thinking maybe the one next or this year in October might not happen since they've done everybody together this month. So we still don't know what Twitch is going to do about that. It's just like speculations, really. But yeah, I think that was different from what happened last year. I wasn't a big part of I wasn't really streaming at that time last year, so I don't know what happened. But apparently, it was just like US focused, and now they've included the UK, so that is kind of different.
In a way, I suppose it is good that they've started to try and do that, but it sounds as if it's like a lot of the same problems that Twitch have when they try
Mm.
to put if it's about like promoting black creators or if it's about
Mhm.
just in general with other changes on the platform, it
Mhm.
either comes out very, very slowly or it's just like something that comes out and it's, as you said, it's like it's not at the forefront.
Mhm.
Because I mean, mean, with a website like Twitch, like you'll probably seen it before with like other websites where if they're promoting something, they'll always have it at the top of the page.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you're exactly right. If
Mm.
you wouldn't know if the carousel was like further down.
Yeah, you wouldn't scroll that far.
Yeah, that just sounds quite disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah, it just seemed like some weird experiment that they were doing, which is kind of sad because there's 1,000 people involved, and I think they could have been more honest about what they were doing.
Because, I mean, I remember seeing the promotional video on, I think it was their Twitter page, where they had like someone who was, you know, showing off all these creators saying, oh, they're absolutely fantastic and everything, and go check
Yeah,
them out.
they were.
And
You go on,
sorry.
go on, go on.
No, I was just going to say, like, it seemed as if from that video, like, that it was going to be a big,
Yeah,
big deal.
yeah.
They were just showing off so many creators, and you thought, wow, they're really putting their all into this. Wow, this is amazing. And then, of course, as you said, it's like at the bottom
Yeah.
carousel, and it's like,
But those creators were the successful ones in the experiment. I'm not sure how. Maybe Twitch is doing something to like feature those creators a bit more. But yeah, those creators were successful in this event. They got a lot of publicity that way, and yeah, they were successful. So I'm not sure what happened to the rest of us really.
were they already prominent streamers before that, or?
Oh, you mean those people?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because I know, obviously, when in general, whenever Twitch have like a promotional thing and they're trying to promote other streamers, they always get like the face of, you know, like whoever they're like, whatever group they're promoting for. And it seems as if, yeah, I see what you mean. It's like they would be the ones getting the benefit there.
Yeah.
And the ones getting introduced in the video, because I suppose it's like if you said, oh, so and so and popular streamer here, they're going to be on this, and you're like, oh, great, but you're completely right. There's an inherent problem of, well, they've already got the audience, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows what they're doing in Twitch? We just hear like we don't really hear anything. People just speculate, you know. I'm still grateful anyway because even though I didn't like get like 1,000 viewers from the thing, I still got like a lot of people who were like, oh gosh, another black streamer. Well, I'm gonna support you. Let me just follow you on Twitter, kind of thing. So it was good in that sense. But other than that, it wasn't much on Twitch. It was everywhere else but Twitch.
Oh, that's the worst thing, isn't it? When you're trying to promote one particular website and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you do so well everywhere else, and then when it comes to like Twitch or something, you're like, how, where's everybody going? Oh, as of now, like whenever I go into your profile, it just looks as if the number of like followers and, you know, viewers just keeps going up and up for you though. So
Yeah, but I wish that translated into views. I don't know. I think
oh,
I've noticed this weird thing where people just enjoy you saying their names.
yeah.
I don't know. Like, people just coming, oh, they see a streamer and say, oh, I want that streamer to say my name. So they follow. And I have this thing where if somebody follows, I full on like pronounce their name or at least try to welcome them into the stream. So I feel like that's the only reason people follow. I don't think they have any interest in actually watching it because I have like I have about 3,000, I think 3,005 now followers, and yeah, most of them don't come back because if I go into analytics and I go into like people who actually watch the stream, they're not my followers, believe it or not.
I was going to ask, have you ever had, like, whenever a person comes in, because I know this is, like, quite a common problem, but have you ever had it when someone comes in and says, oh, I'm not stopping, I'm just saying hey, and then I'm getting prepared for my own stream, or
Oh my
things
god.
like that?
I have had loads of that. Loads.
Really? Oh, God.
Loads. I mean, I don't like tell anybody off or anything like that. I don't know. But I find like they never come back. They do it one time and I never see them again. I'm like, what is the point of that? I don't get it. Like if you try to be like at least a part of my community or whatever, that makes sense. But you're just telling people you're streaming and then you're gone. Do you just expect them to just come over? I don't understand the mindset. I really don't when people do that.
It just seems as if they're thinking that as soon as they go into like a really popular streamer's chat, and obviously you've got your Tit Night community and other streamers will have their Tit Night communities, do they really think that a stranger is going to come in and be like, oh, I'm streaming, I don't know, latest FPS 2022, and then your community would be like, oh, right, okay, let's
go.
all leave, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what they think.
Mhm.
But I find it a really weird thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't try to like stuff them or call them out. I just scream a little like, what? Okay. The worst thing I've ever said is okay. Other than that, I'm just like, oh, okay, good luck. Or see you soon. That kind of thing. But I never see them again. It's very strange.
See, in terms of like self promotion, do you get a
Mm.
lot of that in your streams?
Yeah, there was one that was like really, really obvious. I mean, I had like maybe 30 because it was like maybe a couple 6 months ago. So I had maybe like 30 people in the channel at the time. And then this person comes in and go like, "Oh, I'm doing like a giveaway today. I'm playing Final Fantasy 10 or whatever. You should come over and watch." I'm just like, I'm sitting right here. Why are you doing that? I mean, I didn't say it. I was thinking it to myself. I was just like, what are you doing?
I think by far the worst one I ever had, maybe it wasn't as bad as that, but the worst one I had was I was playing, I think, Fall Guys in stream, and I brought this
Hmm.
story up 100 times, but like I was playing Fall Guys and this person spammed the link for their YouTube channel and they were
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh, can you review my latest video on your stream?" And I was
Wow.
like, "What? First of all, I'm streaming on PlayStation." This was like when I was directly streaming from consoles. So I'm
Wow.
like, first of all, no, physically impossible. Second of all, what makes you think that I'm going to stop everything? You'll just drop it and then be like, you know what? See for you, random user 42, just for you, I'm going to review your video. It's like, come on, have a word with yourself. Just
I don't know. I really don't know why people think that's okay. I mean, like, I never actually. I know some people before they even go on start streaming, they try to like find out about Twitch, the community, and how it works in general. I never did that, but I knew that was a wrong thing to do. I would never go into anybody's stream and be like, "Oh, right, I'm streaming this game as well. You should come check me out." I would. I don't know.
because there's a lot of I don't know if you've seen this before. It's like something I like to call hustle culture
Mm.
almost. It's like people who, and don't get me wrong, you know, if people are working towards a goal,
Mm-hmm.
that is perfectly fine. There's a lot of people who seem to misunderstand what it means to, like, first of all, work hard
Mm-hmm.
versus spam your link everywhere. I think currently I've got somebody in my Instagram that keeps spamming me saying I'm going live. You know, it's
Oh
like,
God. Oh yeah, I have that as well.
yeah, and I'm just like, thank you. But and this isn't like somebody I know. I just want to preface that it's someone I
Oh
think I
God.
followed. I think it's a Spanish streamer.
Oh
But like
gosh.
I followed them once and then all of a sudden they keep messaging me being like, I'm live on Twitch or Estoy
You know,
Vivo on Twitch and I'm like, what? No.
so there was a video on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about another streamer who was like talking about people who go into people's discords and send I'm going live tweets. And this streamer made a really good point. Like the time that you're investing in doing that, you can post it on your Twitter, you can post it on your Instagram. You're actively finding your people and making sure they come. But you going into somebody else's Discord and sending that, they're there to support that person. Nobody would bother to come check you out that way. So it's literally the same thing. Like the energy that you're putting into sending you that link, you can literally just put it on a Twitter somewhere and tag everybody or whatever. It would do more than just sending you a DM. That would have taken a lot of energy because I'm assuming it's not just you that it's been sent to.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it'll be like a group email.
yeah,
Select all.
yeah. So that must take a lot of energy. And I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it.
Speaking of that, that happened to me like I think just before the end of my first year
Mm.
in streaming. In fact, I think it must have been 2020. And there was a guy I met and he seemed really nice initially, but as soon as I invited him to the Discord, he was just spamming his going live link everywhere. I actually checked out his stream and it was
Oh
awful.
yeah.
And
Oh gosh.
I don't usually say that about anyone. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
going to
Mhm.
put him
Mhm.
down. But he
Mhm.
wasn't interacting. He was
Yeah.
blasting music. He was just laughing away, even when people were putting messages in. So it's like, why? No, I don't get it. I don't get why anybody would think, oh yes, this is the way to go to be a successful streamer.
Yeah.
Would you say then that like networking is a really important part though of streaming?
To be fair, I'm not saying it's bad. I tend not to. I tend not to. I think for me, it's more like the way that I am programmed because I feel like if I do anything like that, people would just assume I'm trying to like cloud chase. If you get what I mean. I feel like every streamer that I've met has just been like a completely random coincidence that I've networked with. So I think the first streamer that I met, who was also another black streamer in the UK, was Ready Set Ben, and it was because he was recommended to me on Twitter. I went to his channel, checked him out, and he turned out to just be like a positive, amazing person. And before I knew it, he rated me on the same day. I'm just like, whoa, how did that happen? I never told him I was a streamer. At least I don't know how he found me, but somehow he did. So you just being there in your community, some people were genuinely nice. They would just come check you out. They'd be like, oh, you're a part of my community. Let me just see what you're about. And if they see like, oh, your content is good, definitely I'll come support you. And the day he rated me with like a bunch of other streamers that I looked up to as well. Obviously, they didn't know I existed. So they came to the stream and everybody was like, oh, she's another black girl who streams 14. And, I think that was the first time I kind of got like some type of publicity and met a bunch of people that way. I don't know. I never really did any networking like that. I think I just got lucky, really. But that doesn't mean it doesn't work. I know like some people who like collaborate with other streamers and they've just found success that way, especially if the energy is the same and they laugh at the same things. So the community sort of like merged together in a way. I've seen that happen multiple times before, and they're quite successful. So I'm not against connecting and making connections with other streamers. It's just the way that I went about it was slightly different.
No, absolutely. It's definitely, and I think I've said this before, but it is like a very, well, when I say it, I mean Twitch. Twitch is like very random in the way it like kind of chooses people to be successful. And by
Mm-hmm.
that, I don't mean like there's like a big person sitting behind a desk at Twitch saying, that one, they are going to be successful.
No.
Or it's just like a wheel where it's like, who are we going to choose today? It's completely by coincidence, because I know what you mean. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
thinking back to something you said earlier there. When I started as well, I didn't really have a brand as such before like I adopted what it is now, and I was like putting out going live tweets and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It really wasn't working. I was putting my link in like people who were asking for it tweets
Mm-hmm.
rather
Mm-hmm.
than,
Mm-hmm.
and even then I felt really bad because I was just
Oh
like,
yeah.
this just feels wrong, because it's like I wanted to promote myself, but then there's
Mm-hmm.
that kind of
Oh, I did that too. I'm not sure if I said I did. I did that too. So like there's some Twitter accounts where they like, oh, put your link down below and find followers. I did that. I even did follow for follow. I'm not even ashamed of it. I did it in the start because I didn't know who else. I didn't know how else to connect with people. I didn't know how to find people. This was before the tags, by the way. So there was no way you could find other people like you. So to me, I felt like I felt alone. Like are there other black streamers? Where are they? Because I don't know. So I put links in like or put your links below, we'll follow you, you get 10 followers. I did a bunch of that in the first 2 months that I started streaming, and I got a lot of followers. At least I got, I would say, 200 from doing that. I even found like some discords, like a support streamer discords. I did that as well. I would go check out the other links that I posted. I would go follow them, and sometimes they came back and they followed me back, so that was good. It worked. But then when I started like growing a bit more, I noticed like these people don't care about my content. They will never care about my content. So I just stopped doing it altogether. And now that I've joined a couple of teams where we talk about like things that could possibly help you grow and things like that, I've noticed like there's a completely different way that Twitter works. You spamming hashtags and things like that probably doesn't always do what you think it's doing. So yeah, I take a completely different approach now.
No, I know exactly what you mean, especially at the beginning, because I did the same thing, putting in my link, getting some people to support, and I
Mm-hmm.
rightfully, like, I checked them out as well. Sometimes I thought, oh, they're a great streamer, other times I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, I don't know. Because mainly, and I don't want to stereotype here, but there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like mainly FPS streamers that don't
Yes.
talk a lot, and
Yes.
they want to be the next, I don't know, ninja or insert any like successful streamer here that plays these kind of games, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like they just don't interact. And I get
Mm-hmm.
like if you're doing like challenge runs or something, that's completely different. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to talk or you actively say or identify yourself as a mute streamer, so you're not going
Mm-hmm.
to like talk, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you were kind of going out your way to spend time with these people and watch them play and things, because in a way it is like quite a very social thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. It is. Absolutely. And I would even class myself as a shy person, but it's completely different. Like when I stream, because I'm in my personal comfort zone, right? It doesn't feel like, that shyness just sort of like goes away, which in the last year, I found out a lot of side of me that I didn't even know existed. And I'm very happy I even and I even started streaming altogether. I'm very happy.
That's amazing, though, to be
Mhm.
fair. This is kind of... See, sorry, I'm laughing because I'm thinking I'm the exact same. Like in real life, I'm a very shy guy. Like I hate phone calls and things like that. You know,
Exactly.
I look at my phone and I'm like, I don't know your
No.
number. Nope, nope,
Not
not
answering.
today. And I say that even though that right now I'm doing a podcast and I
Yep,
reached out to you, of course, and I'm
exactly.
just like, yeah, do you want to come on a podcast? And you, of course, were amazing and were like, yeah, sure. And but yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and especially when it comes to like Twitch as well, you kind of take on like a whole different persona, don't you?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you're in your comfort zone, so it doesn't really all that, shyness just goes away because you're just in your, in your happy place. You're just doing what you would do if you were alone in a room, and yeah, so it's completely different.
I was just thinking, like, you do turn into like a different, more confident version of yourself.
Yep.
But I have to admit, I'm not brave enough to like do the face cam thing because for the longest time I was like a no face streamer, and then I moved on to like using a model. So I'm actually quite curious, like, what inspired you to use a face cam?
I don't. It's not. I hope this doesn't come off as negative, but
No, not at all.
it's just for vanity reasons, really. I feel like I look a certain way. Maybe that would help. So I turn on my camera. I have days where I don't want to be on camera. Don't get me wrong. Days where I just like, okay, I don't want to put on makeup today, so maybe not have the camera on. But I feel like because I've always been a face camera anyway, a face streamers anyway. It's kind of hard for me to just do that without people asking what's wrong or whatever. And I don't want to bring that kind of energy into stream. Be like, okay, I'm not feeling great today. So days like that, I just end up canceling stream altogether, or so it's literally just for vanity reasons.
Would you say that is like an important part of streaming to like kind of take breaks for yourself and know when to like have time to yourself?
Absolutely, because if you're gonna be entertaining people, you want to be older. You don't want to be like a half energy type thing. I want to bring all of you. I feel like people will sense like the energy is different if you're not in the right headspace. But don't get me wrong, I still go live sometimes when I feel that way. And usually streaming does help. It gets me out of that that headspace, and that's another reason why I do love streaming. Like days when I'm feeling down and I go live, it's always like ends up being like an amazing stream. But yeah, if you feel like you're not even up for it altogether, I would advise not doing it, not expecting that you would change just when you go live.
Because I think that is, especially for like new streamers, I think that is like a very significant like misconception that when people are saying, oh, if you want to be a successful streamer, you have to push yourself, you have to work 24/7 on your stream, you have to do
That's
this.
not healthy.
Yep.
That is not healthy at all. And you don't even need a cam to be successful. Sometimes the energy is right. People will come around and hang out with you. So for me, like I said, it's just for vanity reasons. You don't need a cam. And I've actually been thinking about making a VTuber model as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So for days when I don't feel like, okay, I don't want to wear makeup, I would turn on my VTuber model, and people would take that as it is. If you're here for me, you'll be here. I'm actually thinking of one in particular. VR chat. There is a
Oh, yes.
so that you can make models that way. But yeah, I'm thinking more that direction where I can make a model and then use that model as a VR
Yeah.
as a VTuber, because I think they look really nice. Why not?
It is quite fun as well because it gives you a way, like the reason I do it personally is it gives you a way to kind of express yourself without, having to show your face. And as you said, it's like if you're not feeling great that day and you really don't want to show your face on camera, because I have to admit, I work in a job where I have to show my face on like Zoom and it's soul crushing. I never used to, but then somebody changed the rules and now
Oh wow.
we're all on camera and it's like, oh god, this is, yeah, but I know what you mean. It's like if you don't want to be on, but yeah, it's yeah. What the moral of the story is like, screw Zoom. So, but what would be your advice to upcoming streamers?
Yeah, there's one that another streamer talks about that she swears by. She goes by Ebonix. She's a Twitch ambassador actually. Hang around Twitch. Like if you're thinking about doing it yourself, just see what the community is like. So the do's and the don'ts, because I feel like there's people who go into like people's chats and advertise that they're going live. They didn't know what the culture was like, and that's why they do things like that. So just in case, to be safe, hang around other communities, other streamers, see what they like. And sometimes if you like because sometimes when you're in somebody else's streamer chat and you frequent that and you're regular, you will have other people from that streamer come support you because they know who you are. You've shared experiences with the other streamer. I found that as well in my community. I found people that I've rated. That person is a regular in my chat. They'd go and they follow that person, and they go hang out with that person as well. So it's a good thing to just get to know other people. It's a good way to connect as well. You don't have to tell them that you're a streamer. Sometimes they would just find out. Also, be consistent. I think it's good to have a schedule as well. So people just sort of like know when to expect you and sort of like walk you into their routine. I feel like for me on the weekends, that's when I get the most viewers. So people feel like, oh, I wake up on a Saturday morning. I have a lot of NA viewers as well, so it's a bit weird. So they wake up on a Saturday morning, they turn on their Twitch, and I'm already live. So they kind of like walked me into their day to day on the weekends in a way. So be consistent in that way. But if you do need a break, take one. You don't have to sacrifice your own mental health for views. I absolutely don't recommend that. Yeah, a schedule, be consistent. Like find another streamer to connect with, to do some research type thing. Yeah, before getting started into the whole streaming journey would be my advice.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, first of all, absolutely fantastic points. It is that kind of way of trying to find your community, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because it feels as if a lot of people, I mean, myself included, right enough, because I knew nobody on Twitch. Like, it was actually one of my friends who, during the 2020 lockdowns, was like, oh, why don't you start Twitch? And of course I started, and it was only my friends that were kind of popping in, like in real life. So I had like a very small following to begin with. But although, like, I always say this, and I feel bad because I don't want to be like, oh, it was just my friends, like, I don't want to be dismissive. They're like absolutely fantastic. But it wasn't until, as you said, that I started kind of mixing with like other groups and watching other streamers popping into the chats. And obviously it's like trial and error, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
You're never going to get, like, every time, you're never going to get that one streamer that is, they're going to be perfect every time. Sometimes you think, oh, I don't like their vibe or whatever, and that's okay. Would you say that's important as well? Like, knowing when to say, okay, this, streamer's not for me, I'm going to move on.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you can still, be in the same industry and, support each other, but you just don't enjoy their content if the content is not for you. I don't think there's anything wrong with like just removing yourself from the space. I have a lot of streamers like that we're the same community. I support them in other ways. If like they post something on Twitter, I would like it, retweet it, but I don't actually watch them because the energy is not for me, that kind of thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. There are other ways to support people and in your community without being in every stream or that kind of thing, just if the content is not for you. A lot of people that I tend to have that kind of relationship with, like FPS streamers, because I personally don't like guns, so I don't want to be like in streams where there's like shooting happening, and they're usually very loud, so I don't tend to like go to streams like that. But otherwise I support them in other ways, retweet like their content. Yeah, there are other ways to support people. You can be cordial and get along in the same industry without actually even though the content is not for you. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah.
No, that absolutely makes sense. Yeah, at the end of the day, you are going to get people on Twitch looking for, like different content creators. You're going to look for, as you said, you're not into like the FPS genre. So that's obviously not something you're going to check out. And then vice versa, someone might not be into like Final Fantasy or platformers or Fall Guys, which turns out there's a very vocal majority there, but that's another story. But yeah, it's like on Twitch, there is like something for everyone, and I do think it's fantastic that although as you said, you might not be into those kind of games and things, you're still being supportive by retweeting and things like that. And I do think that's like a very important thing for people to do, like be supportive and kind of prop each other up, as it were.
Exactly.
And yeah, so thank you for doing that. Really. See, honestly, on that like really lovely positive note, like, thank you so much for coming on today's episode.
Thank you for having me. I've never done anything like this. This was fun. It was good first experience. If somebody else asked me again, I would definitely do it.
Oh, thank God it was good. Because I do worry, because the majority of people who come on say, oh, this is my first time on a podcast, and I'm like, okay, Satsu, no pressure.
I'm like, glad I didn't say that at the start then.
No, as long as you enjoyed it, that's the main thing.
Yeah. This is fun.
But before we finish up, where can these lovely listeners at home find your content?
Find me on Twitch at Noobtoons. Yep, that's it.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
God, that was a short and sweet one there. I was like at the edge of my seat, like, oh,
Where's the
what
rest?
else is it? Yeah. No, in all seriousness, everybody listening at home, go check out Noobtoons. Fantastic streamer, does amazing content. As I said, your
Thank you.
community's lovely as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do awesome.
Thank
Really
you.
do. So yeah, thank you as well for being like so positive in the Twitch community and everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was going to joke and put in an extra compliment for another thank you, but no, I'll stop now. I'll stop. But yeah, thank you again. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening. If you want to check out more Chat Tsunami content, then you can check us out on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and yeah, really any good podcast app. Just look for the red panda under the name Chat Tsunami, and yeah, you'll find us there. But until then, thank you all for listening, and until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay hydrated. Bye, guys.
Bye.